Hello, hello, hello. It's Wednesday night tackle talk. I was gonna come in here tonight. What's up, PD? I'm trying to find myself out here on my tablet so I can see everybody's comments. Hopefully it'll stay on this time, y'all. I'm sorry. I don't know why it does this every time when I first get signed on. Hey, Virginia. Hey, PD. Hopefully it'll stay on this time. I don't know if it's just when I first go on, it tries to connect with our internet service or what it's doing. But hopefully it'll stay on this round. So y'all come on in the house. Well, howdy, Chris. Come on in the house, Muddy River Catfishing. How are you doing tonight down there in New Mexico? There's Trophy Hunter, Mr. Dieter Melhorn. You come in, everybody give me a thumbs up over there, and I'd appreciate it. Backlight's cool. Appreciate that. That's called a big floodlight on the backside of the patio down there. Dieter got it shining through. I got one professional lights that my wife and I use when she's selling her little row. You can see it right there to light up my beautiful face for y'all. Come on in the house, Tightwad. Yeah, it's backwards, ain't it? Yep, it is. I hadn't figured that out either, Dieter. I don't know how to. There's Top Tactic Fishing. Come on in, buddy. Jimmy in the house. Glad y'all come in. We got a lot of. Glad y'all come in. We got a lot of people on here that can help out with this tonight, and that's what I want to do. Is bring people in on the feed. I guess so, Dieter, because it used to wasn't backwards on mine either. I don't know. What's going on, Justin Lefford? We got a lot of people coming in to chat tonight. That's all. That's sweet. Are you for freedom? Come on in the house, buddy. Thank you for coming in, everybody. Well, tonight's show, I did name it bank fishing. I went bank fishing with New School the other day. We didn't do good, and I had to cut my trip short. Had a family emergency, if y'all watched it. And I appreciate y'all, the ones that did come in. I enjoyed it for a short period of time. We were just trying it. It's been a long time since I really bank fished. So I was having to reset up my rigs and figure out how and where I was going to set up. Come on in the house, Melissa Outdoors. Let me just light this up a little bit where I can actually see it. So I figured we have a lot of bank fishermen on here, and we might go over a few things. There's Mr. Peel and Drag himself. So with that being said, I figured we'll do some tackle talk on what kind of tackle that y'all use, what I used, what would y'all prefer to use, and how you figure out where you wanna fish. What makes that decision in your mind as to why do I want to go here or why do I want to go there? Is it the season or the catfish hanging there in the spring but not in the fall, or in the summer and not in the winter, or vice versa? So I hope that there's Chunky Cat. What's going on there, Stan? So with that, I figured I want to do some more bank fishing. I want to bring you in, do some lives. I think that's sweet. I enjoy bank fishing. and a lot of people in here do bank fish that don't boat fish, but I get a perspective from both worlds, the boat and the bank, and why I chose where I chose. And the reason I chose where I fished was the river channel runs close to the bank, a lot of structure. So hopefully you would think the fish would run there pretty much any season. I'm finding out that could be true and not true in that area. Dude, you ain't right. Uh, so that was some of the thinking. Where I'm at, the river channel cuts in close to the bank and comes back around out on the point and then cuts back across the river or the lake. Uh, and high waters, it deposits a lot of debris right there. I figured it probably holds some flatheads. I know it holds some good blues at times. So, yeah, I'm going to tell you, 120-pound main line leader, I don't think you're going to get a real long cast with that one. I don't know, you use spider wire, you use some of that real fine braided line, you might get a little bit better cast. So that was the reasons why I chose to fish where I did. Log chains. That's the kind of fish I'm looking for, Justin. Them the ones that pull on log chains and 55-gallon barrels. The biggest one I've caught from the bank, truthfully, was many years ago, and it was about a 17 to 18-pound channel cat. Our lake didn't have channels then. I've caught bigger carp from the bank. Never weighed them. Probably, I would guesstimate, probably close to 30-pound carp down there where I fish mainly out of. There are some big carp in our lakes. Yeah, Peeling, that's a nice channel. Lake Wiley does not produce channel catfish like that anymore since the blues and the flatheads come in. And Dieter can tell you more about maybe why that took place. All I know is when I started back, the blues and the flatheads are finally in that lake. And I'm glad because I love chasing big fish. Back when I first catfished, it only had channels. So, but yeah, that was the biggest channel, and I guess with the blues and the flatheads in there, that size decreased. I'm not saying there's not that size in there anymore. I just don't feel that they are. So I figured I got some questions. I want y'all to help me. And I'd like to be able to try to help y'all, but I know there's some very experienced fishermen in here tonight. You got Dieter, you got Chris from Muddy River. Chris does a lot of bank fishing and boat fishing. And Chunky Cat's up there in D.C. He does mainly bank fishing, and we got a lot of guys in here that do a lot of bank fishing and boat fishing that can give you a perspective from both worlds. With that being said, I'm going to ask you a question. What are y'all's favorite rods that y'all use to bank fish? Do you like a real long rod like a surf rod? Or do you just prefer to use what rods you have, which is usually about 7.5 foot? So somebody chime in and tell me what rod y'all use to fish off the bank with. I know what Chris uses. He uses his rod, so that Pill and Drag, Ugly Stick, Big Water. Hello, Flat Out Bank Angling. Can't stay but wanted to stop by and give your support. I appreciate that. I thank you. I appreciate you coming in the house tonight and saying hello to everybody for a 7-footer. I guess that was at least a 7-footer to get you out away from maybe some of the structure right around the edge of the waters. But don't forget, guys, a lot of guys at night, we fish up close to the bank. We'll throw our 7 to 8 foot for a catfish. Yeah, Chris, I've heard them Muddy River catfish rods are sweet. 6 foot, it's just too long. You have a great night too, Flight Out Fishing. We appreciate you dropping in. 7 foot E-cats. There you go, Justin. So that's what I'm 8 foot. You still get a long cast, but they're not too long that you can't control the fish when you get her up close to the bank. Alrighty, we got that in our notation. Okay, so do you go with what reels do y'all prefer? You like a 10 foot? You get that further cast. You cast 80 yards. There you go. That's reaching out there and touching somebody. What's up, ASAP Fishing? Come on in here, young man. I see you do a lot of bank fishing too, buddy. So that's what we're kind of describing and discussing tonight. And I wanted to do a good, maybe a collaboration video and get quite a few of us down there to do some good bank fishing once we know we can reach them down on Wiley. I know New School, he hadn't done it in a long time, and he really enjoyed it, whether we caught anything or not. Hello, bait and lure. Come on in the house. Are y'all just now getting the notifications? Pill and drag with braid. I'm wanting to try braid. What I was going to ask everybody, that I know some of you use braid, some of you use mono. I've got a bass reel that's an old Quantum reel. It was the Bill Dance reel, and I want to put braid on there so I can go with a heavier line. I was going to try to do a light line catfishing with it, because it's got a glass smooth drag system on there. So I know I could, but I want to go with at least 20-pound braid. And I used any in many a year. When I first used it years ago, all we had was the spider wire when it first come out. So what kind of braid do most of y'all use? Dieter, yeah, I mean, if you're using it to, the way I look at it, if you're using it to pick a spot that you can set up on the bank, and what will make you to make that decision where you gonna park your boat and fish? So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Justin used anti-mono here. Dieter's a cheater. Yeah, he don't have to carry them rod and reels like I did the other day. I like I like bank fishing. I like the challenges of it. To me, it puts your mind to work as to why am I setting up right here, and also at the same time, you know that you're at the mercy of the lake. You can't put that boat in gear and take off down the lake. You might move a few feet or cast a few different places here and there, shallower or deeper, but you're kind of at the mercy. So, I guess that comes back to doing your homework, downloading that Navionics app, and then corresponding to the places that you can go and fish off the bank. Okay. Reels. I'm an Abu guy. I use Abu Garcias. I got the 6,000s and actually got some good deals on them. I had some for many years ago. I hate packing tackle. I know the other day I had to load up and run, and I made 2 trips going in and had to make 1 trip coming out. Right. What's up, Jimmy Dixon? I'm glad you said that, Dieter. I'm glad you said that, because I was wondering about that. If you stay below the high water mark, then you're actually not trespassing, right? Is that what you're saying, Dieter? If you go above that water line, then you're actually trespassing on private property. there you go. I mean, I love bank fishing, but I love my boat too. It's a lot easier to jump on that boat and take off with your stuff already on it than packing it up and carrying it. And I used to have a buggy that I had set up about like some of the surf fishermen at the beach. It had the big fat wheels on there. You could put everything on there. Your rod stand up. Works real great. And I noticed, Elstan, you had a buggy, something like that. Uh, and that's a neat idea. So it ain't too bad. Lines, test line for castability. You're right, Justin. I went down there the other day at South Point, and right after they had changed out the trash cans, they had put big dumpsters in there, and I guess the state brought them in there and cleaned up all that whole area. I was going to do it when Sarah had her 65-pound braid. When Sarah had her contest going on, uh, it was going to do a cleanup, and the state had come in and cleaned it all up. South Point Boat Landing looked just as bad, if not worse, than it did before they done a major cleanup. A 50-pound mono leader, 20 to 30-pound mono. That's what I'm figuring. It depends on really how far you got to cast. If you got to really reach out there like Dave, Catfish Dave, he really has to reach out there to hit that river channel. That's why he's using 10 and 12-foot rods to reach out there. And I think he uses braid too. Now, if you don't have to reach out to 60, 70 yards, you can use heavier mono or shorter rods to get that, to reach out there and get that. But also it depends on the reels that you have to be able to sling it. A good spinning reel can reach out there. A good bait caster too, if you thumb it like you need to get that long a cast. I'm trying to read y'all. I'm sorry. Yeah, it is more of a challenge because so many places get shut down because people trashing it up. They ruin it for everybody. And more places are going to get shut down because people still don't take care of the land like we should. Sarah had a good thing going on with that trash pickup and contest, and I hope she can come back on here and do it again. That is a great thing. It brought a lot of awareness for bank fishermen and boat fishermen. I mean, if we're out here on the boat, we don't want to see all that trash on on the land. A Pinfish 6000. I know Pill and Drag on your spinning reels, you use a glove because you're using braid, and from what I understand, that braid will really cut your finger when you rear back with heavy sinkers and a bait to let it fly. Because I know years ago, yes sir, I know years ago when that spider wire first come out, I cut that finger right there to the bone. I was worm fishing, and a big old bass happened to snatch that worm, and I set the hook because I was a line filler, and it laid it slammed to the bone. So there are some the pros and cons with different kind of lines. Braid gives you the castability. Mono gives you the strength against nicks and cuts and stuff on rocks and limbs, uh, which is I love. I love both. That's why I was asking what kind of mono do y'all use? Because I mean, not mono, but braid do y'all use? Because I do want to put braid on that one bass reel that I've got that I'm going to do catfishing with, simply so it can hold more line. So what's y'all preferred braid line? I know Dieter runs braid on his perch rods, that his down rods, and I ain't sure what else he runs braid on. And I know Pillin said uh, what's going on, Jeff Drum? DC Park Authority, yeah. I think the older dad gonna make the prisoners get out there and pick up trash myself. Team Catfish and Pro Cat. Okay. I've heard people say they use, and Dieter, I don't know what kind you use. Chris, do you use braid or do you use mono on your rod and reels? Uh, I'm trying to encourage y'all to come in, use 30-pound mono. And that's what I use. I use 30-pound Berkeley Big Game on my all my catfish rods and reels. I like it. I know I've heard Catfish Dave said he's got a couple bad batches of the big game. I have yet to run into that yet, and I hope I don't. Mono. So if anybody in there does use a different kind of braid or whatever, hey Dewey, come on in there. Please chime in and let me know what kind you use, and because I'll be going probably tomorrow to pick up some lines and stuff like that. I've got to get them for my leaders. Wait, when you're fishing from the bank, I'm trying to get y'all to chime in and come in here to chat. I see I've lost a few. I think I've lost Chris and Dieter. Uh, I'm trying to get y'all to come in here and chat because we do have a lot of people that bank fish on here that might be new. I'm new again. Use Power Pro perch rods. Slime Lime is still waiting on my free spool. uh, that was what I was asking about. I knew Power Pro. I couldn't think of the word. You use Power Pro on your perch rods, and that's probably what I'll go with on my bass rod for my catfishing. So, yeah, guys. I mean, really, I'm new. I really just got back to catfishing less than a year ago. Uh, So y'all seeing me learn as y'all learn, and y'all gonna see me make mistakes. I'm not gonna edit, cut all that out. It's I'm gonna keep it real for y'all and for me. Because if I edit all that out of my videos, then if I go back and look at my video this time next year, and it looks like I had a great day on the water, and then I go out there and I can't catch nothing, then I'm gonna be saying, why didn't I catch it? What did I do different or whatever? And if I document everything that I've done, then I know I need to change up something. And that's what I encourage everybody to start doing is taking a journal. What size sinkers you have to use? Good question. I guess it all depends on how you're fishing and where or what you're fishing. Uh, with that being said, I use, if they're not pulling current, you can get away with a 2-ounce sinker as long as you don't have a real long cast to make. And if you're using a bigger bait, of course, you got extra weight there. And sometimes that bait will outrun your sinker when you're casting. And a guy told me a little secret about that. Yes, catfishing is not a lazy man sport. It can be if you just go set up on the bank, throw your rods out, and just kick back and drink a few brewskis and enjoy the night just being on the water. But at the same time, if you really start being a sport fisherman, looking for them big line peeling drag catfish, then it takes some work. And if you got to walk real far and carry a load of stuff on the bank, you'll find out real quick how good a shape you're in. Kentucky Catman in the house tonight. What's going on, Jim? We're talking right down your line. We're doing some bank fishing tonight, so I'd like to have a little input from you too, buddy. So I use 2 to 3 ounce. I like no rolls just in case they turn the water on. Then I don't have to worry about changing up. The only problem where we was set up the other day, we was able to throw off into the channel. But this part of the channel is very steep. And we got hung up. Me and JR from New School got hung up a couple times. And I know there was no logs or any kind of debris right there because I fished there with my boat and I've come right down that edge looking at my depth finder. So we was hanging up on, I guess, the rocks and the ledge itself. So I had 9 foot rods. So when I went to pull up, I automatically snatched it real hard, held it up over my head, and reeled as fast as I could to get it up over that ledge. And that comes to knowing where you're fishing at. If you can't check it on a boat, then that Navionics app can really show you down to the feet of where you're going to be fishing at. Turn it on while you're on the bank on your phone and look at where you're at. Open your screen up and get a closer look at it, and it's going to show you if that channel is within reach. But at the same time, them catfish might be up on the ledge. If you're throwing way out there on the, you got that right, buddy. It's like two rock creatures reach out there and grab my stuff. Yeah, Justin, I'm finding out real quick that that is the best tool for bank fishermen, boat fishermen. Uh, it can really give you a lot of details that you never knew was there. What's going on, Hans? So I recommend everybody going on there and downloading that app onto your phones. It'll dial you in to where you're at if you're on the bank or you're on a boat. So, you might be throwing over to the left of you, and really you might need to go just 10 foot off the bank. It has a good hole right there that the catfish are laying up in. Big old flathead, he'd love to have a little hole right off the daggum bank where them brim are running. And he's got protection from the current. And you wouldn't know that if you didn't have your Navionics. If you just pulled up at the bank and throw them rods out as hard as you could, you might be throwing way past the fish, and you just needed to throw it right off the bank. And that might have been what happened to us just the other day when we was down there. We might have been overthrowing them. We was trying the channel, trying the ledge, and trying right on top of the ledge. Well, we might have just been needing to pitch them right off the edge. So it's all flipping, pitching, and figuring out what's going on. Hooks. What is each one of you's favorite hook? I use the Gamakatsu. What's going on, Jack? You don't catch some of them tree fish, do you? And there's Big D in the house. I use the Gamakatsu 8-aught circle octopus hooks. I'm trying to get some 10-aughts. 10-aughts are hard to find. I like big hooks. You use the mustad hooks. Thank you, Peeling. There's Matthew Anthony in the house. He had to show you something, Dieter, on his homework. I use 30-pound too, but Andy. Dieter, you still use Gamakatsu hooks? We're talking about hooks now. I use the Gamakatsus. There you go. Kentucky Catman just gave you a description of his setup, and that's what I'd like to see. I want to know what each one of you use. I'll go back and I'll make notes. There's a Kell hook in there. There you go. I do use Kells for my live bait on some of them. Bank fishing, I'd rather use Kell and a straight hook. And the reason I use a straight hook or J hook was I was wanting to part some eyeballs the other day. It's been a long time since I've been using these circle hooks, and the catfish hang themselves. It's been a long time since I daggum crossed some eyes on some cats. Didn't take you long, did it, Dieter? 7-aught circles, okay. Team Catfish straight shank circle. Yeah, you part the eyes. I guarantee you. I seen you peel and drag the Gamakatsus. Yeah, I've heard a few people say that they broke Gamakatsu hooks. I haven't seen or heard anybody locally that's broke any. Yeah, Dieter, I guess you stepped off when I was asking what kind of braid you use on your perch reels. Team Catfish jackhammer hooks. Never seen them, Virginia. I'll have to look that up. I've got a couple hooks. I think it was Team Catfish hooks and a couple more. And Whisker Sticks is in the house. And they was thick. To me, they looked like they was thick hooks. Now, don't get me wrong. They was sharp. Power Pros, super slick. Okay, thank you, Dieter. I got my old quantum reel that it was the old Bill Dance special when he first made his first reels, and it's still smooth as glass. And I'm wanting to do some catfishing with it, but I'm wanting to put braid on there so I can go a heavier line and be able to put more line on that reel. You straightened Gamakatsu and didn't break it. There you go. I've heard a few people say that they've heard that they broke, but you know how hearing things about hearing things about hearing things. What's up, Kenny P? Glad you come in the house tonight, buddy. We got a good crowd in here. We're doing a little bank fishing tonight, and I'm trying to get other people's opinions and figure out what they use and how they use it and why they use it. I mean, why did you choose to go mono instead of braid for bank fishing? Or why did you use Carolina rig? What is y'all's preferred rig when you bank fish? You know, this ASAP, he's a young man. I don't know if y'all know him or not. Give him a look out. And Kenny P, y'all share a little bit of love on this channel. That's what we all hear about. But at the same time, let's give out some good information. I prefer a Carolina rig, but at the same time, I like the idea of running a float. I guess what we call the Santee Cooper rig. You do that, Dieter. I would love that. Put that video on my Patriot Catfishers of America the Facebook channel. Please, I would love to see that. I would love it. It would just fill my heart with joy, buddy. It would. Mono. That's what I love to hear. That's what I used to. It would, thank you, Dieter. I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought. Dieter got me talking about God bless America and got me all excited and lost my train of thought. We went over weight. Oh, your rigs. Y'all's preferred rigs. I know Kentucky told us his whole setup. I like a Carolina rig. I like a shorter leader when I'm fishing off the bank than I do on the boat, because on the boat I'm usually dragging, so I want that bait a little bit further behind my weight, kicking up. It was the first song we learned to play on the guitar. Sweet. Carolina rig. Does any of you ever use the Kentucky rig? You use the Carolina rig, 4 ounce, no rolls. Short leader, fast current. Faster the current, shorter the leader. You're exactly right. That thing will sit there and twist and twist and twist. Carolina rig, Texas rig. So Kentucky, you outdoor adventures, you do use the Kentucky rig once in a while. I guess if you're in deeper water where that line's actually able to stretch up, that would actually work a little bit better, wouldn't it? that keeps your bait up off of the bottom automatically without having to use the float rig. So, yeah, that's just a couple rigs. And I know there's some other rigs out there that people use a drop line or drop leader. So hold on just a second, people. Uh, Sorry about that. I'm right back. Y'all had a good view, though. I think the Santee rigs handy. I used the rig wrap, sinker slides. I haven't got any of the rig wrap sinker slides yet, guys. I'd like to get y'all's opinion on them, too, because I plan on using them. I don't use sinker slides all of the time. Simply because I love a Carolina rig. And I guess that is my rig of not just of choice, but of confidence. I have a lot of confidence in it, and I do love using it. So I guess saying that, any rig you use that you find confidence in it is a plus for you. It might not work for somebody else, but if it works for you, then that's your strong point to stay with. But don't be scared to think outside the box. Just like when I was making the floats and stuff out here, just thinking outside the box might change, and them little details that we was going over for 2 weeks might make all the difference in the world. A 3-way Kentucky bottom, cat bobber, and slow current. Boom, suspended. Whisker sticks. That's actually a great answer. I appreciate you bringing that up. Using the bobbers. Bought some sinker slides at Jamie K's. I gotta make a trip down to Jamie K's. I really do. I need to make a trip down there. He's a good guy. I've talked to him on the phone. Dang, y'all see, y'all get me sidetracked and I'm brain dead. The sinker slides, y'all use the Carolina rig, some use Kentucky rigs sometimes. I guess the circumstances really dictate what you're going to throw, and sometimes floats. Carolina rig on a blue, perfect. What kind of catfish are you really targeting when you go to your area to fish? Now, I guess that's really kind of a dumb question. We all fish for all of them. It don't matter what bites. I'll fight a channel catfish like I do a blue or a flathead. I'll enjoy all of them. So I don't even know why I wrote that down. I would love to fish someday one of these waters that has the big channel cats again. I talked to Lyle today on the phone. JNC, what's going on? No, you didn't miss it, buddy. We still on here talking. Got them all here. Yep, we do too. Finally, in my home lakes, we got them all. 20 and 30 pound blues, chunky cat, channels and flats. Jimmy Dixon, y'all don't have blues where you're at. Dewey, you have a good day, buddy, and I enjoyed your last video. I really did. Storming here tonight. It's not storming here tonight, but we're going to start having some 90-degree days again here in North Carolina, probably starting tomorrow. All right, targeted fish. But I got a few other things I want to go through. Use Eagle Claw, preset rig, constant circle hooks, barrels, swivels, leaders. Goodbye. Sound like a good deal there, Mr. Big D. I'm sorry I got indigestion, y'all. There you go. All right, Whisker. 6,000 acre lake I live on. Sweet. Gives you a chance to really learn them waters, buddy. And you know, I say I'm chasing large catfish, and a lot of times I probably need to downsize my baits. I go all or none sometimes, and I know when I'm doing live feeds on here and videos that I'd actually need to show more catches instead of less fish, more fish instead of less fish to make good videos. What's up, Glenn? I have a tendency to go big baits on every rod, whether they bite or not. And that might not necessarily make good video for y'all. I enjoy talking with y'all, and I enjoy corresponding back and forth like we're doing tonight. But at the same time, I do want to put out good quality videos that y'all will still enjoy watching, not just click on, watch a minute, and click back off. That's not what I'm after. I'm after bringing you and me good content that maybe, like my grandsons, y'all seen my grandsons and my granddaughters in here last week, past couple weeks. They're out of town right now, so they're not on here. If I can help them learn from some of my videos, and trust me, y'all, they're going there and watch y'all's videos too. Let's make sure that we give them enough content, good content, that they're not out there getting aggravated and throwing a rod down and giving up. That's what we're here to do, is to help each other. Let's help them at the same time. Because when Kentucky comes on there and he's got it. Yeah, Matthew, I am too. I'm bad about, and I always have been. I used to get aggravated. Let me stop this right quick where I was going. Let's keep encouraging our kids and our future fishermen to be great stewards of the fish, of the waters, and of the land. We have one earth, and that's all. So let's make sure that we create good stewards to follow in our tracks. That means we don't go on the boat and make videos cussing about this, cussing about that, and misleading them and showing an angry world when fishing ain't supposed to be angry. We're supposed to enjoy it and pass it along. So yeah, let's get back to the baits. I'm bad about throwing big baits, and I know Matthew just said sometimes he does too. And I noticed on a few of Dieter's videos that he'll throw some big baits, but he'll also have some smaller baits. And that is what I need to start doing, is downsizing some of my baits. Thank you, Dieter. Along with my big baits, so I still have good content of fish coming in the boat. And I mean, there's going to be days when there ain't nothing you can do but throw a stick of dynamite to get fish. That's just the days that there's going to be like that. But I know in the past couple of my fishing trips that I didn't hardly put any fish in the boat. And it might have been because I should have downsized my baits. And then I would have had fish for my videos, instead of twiddling my thumbs and just talking to the camera and talking to y'all, which I enjoy doing. And Dieter, that's what I'll just bring it up, Dieter, since you're back in here. What made you decide to use small baits amongst your big baits? Was it because of video content? Or was it that you just wanted to keep some action going? Got you. But I mean, there's certain times, and I noticed that from the past, if the mussels are floating and the catfish's bellies are full of mussels and stuff like that, to me it seems like smaller cuts of bait are the way to go. Boom. See, I hit it, guys. So I am learning a little something from Dieter and other guys on here that make videos. I watch y'all's videos, and I take it all into perspective as what I can use on my fishing trips with the way that I fish. We all got to find our little niche. Peel and drag. That rascal catch some nice fish. He's flinging that rod with everything he's got off the bank. Catfish Dave, he's got his niche. Dieter's got his. Find your niche. Your biggest fish, 52 pounds, caught on a small piece of white perch. Bam. If it comes, I believe a catfish eat about anything that comes across his face. Would he prefer to have a big T-bone steak instead of a hot dog? Well, yeah, he would. Oop, that went by too fast. Good information passed right along, y'all. Read Dieter what Dieter had to say, and a lot of everybody's agreeing with him as far as the muscle time and all that. A small piece of cut bluegill. See, that's why I love this show. That's why I hope that we're doing good with passing on great information. 44-pound blue. Great. We've whittled down to 19 people, and I hadn't got to say a little bit of what I was wanting to tell everybody as far as what's coming up on this channel. I sat down and talked with Lyle today. Have a good one there, Jack. I talked with Lyle today, and I'm trying to figure out what is it going to take for me to start bringing guests in on our show. I would like to be able to bring y'all in when we're doing a discussion like this of bank fishing or boat fishing or whatever. Yeah, I noticed that when I caught my nice size flathead, he come on a big chunk of bait. Even my little small flatheads come on big baits. You have to go through Google Hangouts on the air. That's what I'm learning. Me and Lyle was on the phone for about an hour today, and he taught me through some of it. I'm not real computer literate. It's a lot of it is alien to me. So the wife's going to help me do it. You have to learn how to use the OBS. OBS to bring in multiple people. And that was what Lyle was telling me. OBS Studio, key bottom, entered it on YouTube, and then you got to go download Google Hangout. So I'm going to have to use the wife's computer because I don't think you can do it through your phone. Okay. There you go. So that's what I'm going to try to do is start bringing some people in here. It might take me a couple weeks before I get this figured out. Get the wife to download everything she can onto her MacBook Pro. And then we'll go from there because I'd like to bring Dieter in. I'd like to bring each and every one of you in to give y'all little time on the show. You join the show on desktop and on your mobile. But I don't think that I could actually use my phone to run that program. Am I right, Tim? I think it's going to have to be run through her computer. Yeah, I've seen that on a couple of times on Catfish Weekly where people was actually on the boat. And that would be sweet, too. I'd like to be sitting here maybe one night, my buddy in here, Justin, be out on his boat fishing, say he's up at Baden. And he gets on the fish at the time I go live, I'd say, yep, bring him in. That's what I was thinking, Dieter. That's what I was thinking. Wife said I could use it off her computer, but I would need to let her program all that. That's above my head. But once it's all set up, I'm sure I can run it. But I would like to be able to do it and bring people in while they're on their phone out fishing. I think that would make a killer show for all y'all on here. I would enjoy watching it. And that's the reason I try to do this like this. Next week, we're going to go over some tackle. I've got a few things in the works I want to bring and show to try to go over. But I also like having y'all's input on like our bank fishing tonight. And Dieter last week or last 2 weeks give you and Mac a big bump because, hold on just a second. Sorry. There you go, Cammy. And I was telling them about how Matt Byram was very diligent about explaining small details. Them two shows turned out to be great. A lot of good questions, a lot of good answers. And that's what I would love to do. I would love to bring him in on one of the shows if he would do it. I know he goes to bed before 8 o'clock, but I believe I might could talk him into taking a nap and coming back on. Maybe. He likes his nap and he likes his bedtime. But that's what I want to do is bring people in to explain a lot of good information. Yeah, he sure would, buddy. Took a little small piece of bait off the hook and I flung it out in the water and I thought it was going to smack my hands for throwing the bait off into the water. He said that big old catfish might have eat that bait and not took your hook. So I learned a little lesson from Mac that day. Actually, I learned a whole lot from Mac that day. I enjoyed that day being on the boat with Mac and Dieter. I learned a lot that these guys. I learned a lot from both of these guys of the years of experience that both of them carry. They tournament fished a lot and they have a lot of knowledge that can be passed along. And that's what I'm hoping that I can actually turn this show into is a more of a fact information passing show with some excuse me, with some tech talk in it on different equipment. I'm pretty much down to I use Avid Garcia's. I've got a couple pin spinning reels, and so that part of technical I can't show you but so much of what I have. I'm not going to go out and spend a fortune on buying a whole bunch of different stuff just to show and ask opinions on. But if I do buy something new, I will make sure that I show and describe what I've got, why I picked that reel or why I picked that rod to use on the way I fish. I appreciate all y'all coming in here. But what I want to say, I want to try to bring people in, and that's going to take a little bit of work on my part. Walmart special there, Jimmy. Hey, buddy. I use the catfish, the old Whisker catfish system rods. I paid $19 a piece for, and I love them. I like only 7-footers. I need 10-footers. Use old Whisker catfish. 19. I think when I first got them, they was like $22 or $26. I like them. They're a little flimsy on the ends, but they're at the same time. If I catch in small channels, then I still get to feel a good fight. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's whatever works for you. You do not have to break the bank just to catfish. Take you a 33 reel, put you a chicken liver on there, and get out and fish. Get off the couch. I love y'all watching me, but I'd prefer to be watching you, knowing that you get out there, get a little bit of vitamin D from the sun, the smell of good fresh air, and enjoy what the good Lord give us. That's what we're supposed to be here for. Passing on a lot of good information. And guys and gals, I usually carry around 2 extra rod and reels setups with me. And it's usually 33 classics or 33, Zebco 33s on a decent rod. Most of them I find at yard sales, at the pawn shops. I clean them up, grease them up, put good line on them, and I carry them with me with a catfish setup on them. Just because I used to run into a lot of kids down at the lake trying to fish. And I was down there with my father one day. I hear you, Dieter. I thank you for coming in, buddy. Uh, we get together someday, and I appreciate you coming in here and giving us your 2 cents. We all appreciate it. You have yourself a good night, buddy, and have yourself a safe trip going down there chasing some reds, and go live and show us a few fish while you're doing it. Appreciate it. Tell him youngins Patriot James said hey, and we thank you. Make sure you post up him singing, buddy. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked there. So yeah, just what I was saying is I carry 2 extra rod and reels. I run into this kid. Me and my father was down there fishing off the bank, and there's these 2 kids down there, little young guys, and their grandpa was sitting up in the truck. He was watching them. He brought them down there to let them fish. One of the boys had an old, I don't know what kind of reel it was. It was an old one. You couldn't even see what kind. I think it was an old Johnson. And about every other cast, it was really messing up. And he come over and he said, "Sir, can you help me? Can you help me get this straightened out?" And I opened it up and looked at it. The line was all shot. Half the gears had teeth missing. That's why every time he was trying to reel, it was skipping and missing. And it was just twisting his line up. And I said, "Excuse me, son, hold on just a second." Went up to the truck and got both of them 233 Classics that was ready to go. New line, new reel. And the boy said, "Sir, we can't take these." I said, "Please, son." I said, "Please take these. And maybe someday that you can return the favor to some kid once you get older and do the same thing." And pass that along. And told him, I said, "Just thank God that we have people out here that are blessed enough that can help you with things." So with that being said, y'all, don't forget there's other fishermen out there, some with more experience, some with less. And it's up to us, it's our job to pass along the good values of catfishing, the good values of being a good steward of planet Earth. Practice catch and release. Enjoy your catch. If you want some eaters, take you some eaters home. Throw the big ones back so they can keep reproducing for us. We're all stewards of the land. Ooh, excuse me. So it's up to us to pass it along to our youth. I'm going to say God bless America. I forgot to say it at the start of the show, and I apologize for that. That's something I always make sure that I do say, because I mean it, and it's from the bottom of my heart. And please, y'all, don't forget. What's up, John? I like the little small eaters myself, little salt and pepper cats. I'll pile a plate full of bones eating them little small salt and pepper kitties. So let's be good stewards, and not just of the land and the waters, but of good stewards of our children and our fellow man. Let's help out. Let's make sure that everybody can fish. Hello, Charlene. I just wanted to show some love. Show the love right back to you, Charlene. We was getting ready to call her a night. We've had a good talk. Done a little bit of bank fishing on here. A little bit of question and info back and forth. I had questions for my viewers. They had questions for me. Had questions for Dieter. Had questions for Chris from Muddy River. I've enjoyed it tonight, y'all. I really have. I'm glad y'all was able to come in and we discussed it. But please, after this goes off, come in comments, please, and leave me a few comments of what y'all would like to see on some future shows. And it don't matter what you decide you want to see or you'd like to see. Leave them in comments, and we'll hash it over and see what what we can do. I'm thinking about, of course, it's going to get colder weather, and I'm sitting out here in the carport. I'll probably set up in our little cabin up there where the wife sells clothes when it starts getting cold weather or bad weather. But yeah, please leave in the comments of what you might want to see in future shows. I figure the next week I'm going to go over a little bit of tackle and go over some of the practices that we use boat fishing, anchoring, or whether we're drifting or whatever. But also, guys, when you're out there bank fishing, make sure you stay safe. There's snakes, there's poison ivy and poison oak, there's ticks, there's some wild animals, both two-legged and four-legged. So make sure you do stay safe. Carry you plenty of waters or Gatorades to stay hydrated, because it don't take much to get dehydrated. Keep an eye on your surroundings at all times, and but most of all, have fun. Take a kid fishing. You know what? Take a veteran fishing. They're everywhere. There's millions of veterans in this country. Reach out, shake a hand, invite one to go fishing. That's my next challenge, is to take a veteran fishing day. I hadn't forgot it. I hadn't got to go out. I got a lot of homework right now, and I plan on getting out. I might go out Friday. I'm getting ready to pull up a pole barn to put my boats under, and some of my trailers and tractors and lawnmowers and stuff like that. So I've got a lot of homework, but I still want to take a day and go fishing, because I do want to use that drift sock to see how it's going to work. So thank you. Make sure you go in there and put that in the comments. I'm writing it down right now as we go. But I wrote down a lot of stuff, and it looks kind of gibberish like daggum chicken scratch. But make sure y'all leave stuff like this in the comments for future shows, and even for some of my videos to go up, or even my live feeds. And I was watching one more thing right quick before I go. I watch a lot of info videos on YouTube on how to build your channel and what not to do and what to do. And I was watching one today that was how not to destroy your channel. And some of the things that guy talked about, and I seen it on quite a few more videos on there that made me think, was that one of the main things he was talking about is do not rely on live streams to build your channel. That because of that, too many live streams and not enough video content can actually turn the algorithm and start lessening the view out into the public of each one of your live streams, or each one of your videos might not get nowhere near the likes or nowhere near the hits or the views, simply because the algorithms. Now, how all that mess works, I don't have a clue. I would just want to pass on a little bit of information that I come across today. Yeah, Kentucky, I'm the same way, buddy. The last couple of fishing trips I went out with New School and with Dieter and Mac up there, I did not have enough content to even make a good video, and I really hated that, not to be able to bring videos of that. But I know I will get to fish with them again, and when I do, I will make sure that I get a lot of videos so I can come back and edit it. You're right, the human attention span is very short there, Pill and Drag. That's why I need y'all's help also, and that's why I want to help y'all too, is to try to figure out what is going to keep you watching my videos. What's going to keep your attention? Squirrel. You're right, buddy. And it's easier for me to say, woo. Guys, and gals, I enjoyed it tonight. I hope we laughed. Don't want to see no tears. I hear you, buddy. On the big screen. There you go, Trophy Hunter. I'm on the big screen. But God bless America. And God bless each and every one of you. I hope that y'all have a great night tonight. Get out on the water. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy what the good Lord give us. Take a kid fishing. Take a veteran fishing. Take your wife fishing. It's all about enjoying it. And with that being said, we will see you again. Hopefully on the water. Look for me Friday. I'm going to try to get out and do a little bit. With that being said, y'all have a great night. We run it for about an hour. Leave me some comments. Tell me what you want to see in the future shows. And we'll see what we can do to make it happen. Everybody, y'all have a great night. God bless America, and God bless you. See you on the water. Boop.